Lord, if you are here and you are near me, why do I feel so alone? Lord, if you are near and you are with me, why do I feel defeated? If you're supposed to be with me, how come you are not with me and I can't feel you with me?
Yeah.
That means you have to check where you went wrong. And the Lord looked at him in verse 14 and said, go into strength and deliver Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you? He said to him, O Adonai, O Adonai, how shall I deliver Israel? My family is the least of Manasseh, and I am the youngest of my father's house. He said, I don't qualify. I'm from a little town. My family does not have a big name, and I'm the youngest of all the children. He said, I do not qualify. Let me tell you something about God. He can make you qualify. I know you don't have the pedigree or the credentials that say you qualify, but I'm the Lord. I'm your owner. I'm your Adonai. I have called you. I have determined this. In verse 16, it says, and the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. He said, I don't qualify. But I got some good news for some folk in here today who feel like your family background says you don't qualify, who feel like that they didn't come from the good stock, or you don't come from the right side of the tracks, or maybe you were in a situation that was not pleasant to grow up in. Your circumstances was bad. But if you ever discover who Adonai is, if you ever say, Jehovah God, you are my Adonai, I give you ownership, you will be amazed at what God can do in the most likely places, among the most unlikely of people. You would be amazed to see him overcome the Midianites in your midst. The problem is you don't let him be your owner. Everything trying to hold you down, to keep you from progressing, to keep you from maximizing God's call on your life or your spiritual potential. The Midianites represents various strongholds that are trying to keep you oppressed, keep you addicted, or keep you defeated. God says, if you allow me to be your Adonai, you will see me work as your Jehovah. You will see me reveal stuff. What did he reveal to him? He revealed to him the weirdest plan that you ever thought of. If you ever read the story of Gideon, God revealed to him the strangest plan that you would ever think of. Isn't it amazing that when you're trying to do something and you've been trying to do it over and over and over and over, and you keep failing and failing and failing and failing, and then every year you're going to say, this going to be my year, this is the year I'm going to get it done, this is the year I'm going to do it, and you keep trying to do it your way, and you keep getting the same result, and you don't ever come out. That's because you walking around thinking you got all the answers, and Adonai is sitting in the background saying, I'm your owner. If you let me be your master, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to shield you. God is waiting for you to say, take ownership of my life. Have you ever been in that situation? You done got yourself in some mess and you finally laid there. God, if you get me out of this, I won't do it again. In other words, you're trying to make a bargaining agreement with God. In other words, you're saying, God, I need you to be Adonai. Take control of this situation, and as soon as God shows up, get you out 2 minutes later, you forget him being Adonai, you forget him being your owner, you forget him being your master, and you go back to taking the wheel of your life that drove you crazy without insurance in the first place. You get yourself on the wrong road, on the wrong map. Have you ever had your GPS fail you? Ain't nothing like a good old map. Because see, that GPS system is technology. Man-made. It will fail you. Turn right here. And you turn right, and it's the wrong right, should have went left. That's because you put your trust in a system that will fail you. But Adonai is saying, let me be your owner. Let me be your master. You so hooked in your mind that I'm not a slave. Ain't gonna be nobody's slave. How many of you like to be told what to do?
None of us.
Now, I just missed you right there. That's one thing I ask when I go into the prison, because, you know, they on lockdown. So I ask them, how many of y'all like to be told what to do? And they did just what y'all did. I like being told to do. Because, see, when you tell me what to do, now I know the expectation.
All right.
God told me what I need to do. See, the problem is we don't want to let him be Adonai. Because, see, for him to be Adonai, you get in his word and he telling you what you need to do. But because he's not Adonai, you don't ever get in his word. I got this. And you leave the word in the car. You leave the word at church. You leave the word at the house on the bed. And you never get in and see what your owner, you never get in and see what your master is telling you to do about the situation. Because if you do what he say do about the situation, that equals wisdom. That was for free. Wisdom is when you take the word of God and apply it accurately to whatever your situation is in life. Let me wind that back. Wisdom is when you take the word of God and apply it accurately to a situation you're going through in your life. That would be wise. Why? Because I'm taking the word of God that will never fade, that will never die, that will never perish, that will last forever. The word that always works. Since Genesis all the way to Revelation to 2,000 years after Jesus died and resurrected, the word is still working. The word is working so good that the sun and the moon and the stars and the galaxies are still in place. The word works so much that I still rise when it's time to get up and go to sleep, when it's time to go to bed. The word still works. It's still working right now. It'll never return to him void. Why? Because the word works. Now, if he's the one that speaks the word, and the word became flesh and dwelt among us and among men. In other words, if the word works when he said, let there be light, and it was Jesus that made the light, and the light is still shining today, isn't it amazing that he created the earth that rotates on its axis counterclockwise but moves clockwise? That is a God that the gravitational pull of the moon can tell the ocean how far to go up on the beach and when to pull it back. The word works so well that the sun is shining like a big ball of fire, but it don't burn you up because he built an ozone layer that protects you. In other words, God said, I'm going to create the earth, and it has its own sunblock screen system. I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen. I'm going to preach to the balcony from here on out. The other thing is the word is always working. And if the word is always working, then why don't we get in the word? Because the word is alive. The word is not dead. The word is a lie. That's why when you pray and you give God back his word, he has to move, because the only thing that surrenders God is his word. Isn't it amazing that God is so sovereign? He's so mighty. He can do everything. But when you give him back his word, he got to fall up under his word, because he said it and he cannot lie. So when you give him back his word, it's just like a little kid that said, you said you were going to take me to the snow. You said we was going to get snow cones today. You said I could get some ice cream today. You said we was going to Chuck E. Cheese today. Don't that get on your nerve when your child is reminding you what you said, and then you got to try to come up with an excuse? I know what I said, but we not going to do that today. I'm glad God is not like that. I'm glad when I remind God of his word, he will fulfill it and it won't return. God's word is so good that no matter what mess you got yourself in, his word will pull you out. No, y'all be quiet, because he ain't your Adonai. This is what he told Gideon in chapter 7. You will see that Gideon is getting ready to go fight the Midianites, so he gathers 32,000 men. It says, okay, let's go fight the Midianites. God said, hold up, wait a minute. That's too many people. I can't use all of those people. You know you can have a lot of people and they be the wrong people hanging out with you. You ever had too many people in your clique?
Yes.
Well, y'all listen, back in the day when I used to hang out, you know, even though my car said 4 or 5, I wouldn't let 4 or 5 ride with me.
Right.
That's too many people. And matter of fact, only 3 could ride because we needed some space. can see.
That's right.
Sister Henderson, I believe you're sitting right there because I can see you sitting right there. So that's not faith.
Okay. Yeah, come on. Come on.
That's not faith. Why? Because I'm going by my senses. We're talking about in the invisible realm. In other words, I can't see it, but there is proof.
Yeah.
That means there's something in the invisible realm, and we have to manifest it in the visible. So I can't see my money in the bank, but I know if I exercise my faith card, that what I can't see will come out of the machine tangible.
Yeah.
Take on the shield of faith. It means acting like it is so, even when it's not so, in order that it might be so, simply because God said so.
Yeah.
All right. You ever been to the doctor?
Oh, my Lord.
And there was something wrong with you that you could not explain? That you couldn't fix yourself?
That's it. Yeah.
You went to the drugstore and you got over-the-counter stuff, and it didn't work?
Yeah.
Because you went on your own human ability, on your own mind, your own cognitive ability, what you thought you could take care of yourself, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You did your best, but your best was not good enough. So now you got to call the doctor. So you tell the doctor your problem. Now the doctor hears what you're saying, and he does not take for granted of your problem. Why? Because now you're explaining to him how you feel. Because the only thing you can talk about is the pain.
That's it. Ooh, that's good.
See, when you're going through, all you can do is talk about the
Pain.
See, you don't ever get to the root of the problem. You just talk about the
Pain.
Now, what the doctor would do, he will listen to what you think is causing the pain. And then what he'll do is a battery of tests. Now, he does the test in order to ascertain the truth. Because he needs to know what's really wrong. He needs to know what's really creating the pain. Now that you're experiencing this pain, now he's taking you tests to find out what the truth of the matter is. Because all you know is what you feel. And you didn't know how to fix it. So you went to the doctor to get the truth. And even though you think you're dealing with the truth, you're just dealing with limited knowledge. And your limited knowledge is based off the pain. But the doctor has the knowledge that can give you the truth and will write out a prescription based on truth.
That's it.
I'm preaching to myself. So he'll give you words that you do not understand.
Yeah.
You ever looked at the prescription and you were like, what in the world?
Yes, Lord.
You can't understand it.
That's right.
It's written where you can't understand. As a matter of fact, if I read a prescription that a doctor wrote and I can read it, then I'm going to question the doctor if he's a real doctor.
All right.
So based off the truth, he writes you a prescription. You can't read it. You can't understand it. You don't know what's on the paper, but you take it to a pharmacist.
Come on now.
Yeah.
You take it to somebody that can understand what's written on the paper. You take it to somebody who has more knowledge about the situation than you do. Now watch this. You don't know what's on the paper.
Come on now.
But you trust in the doctor who has more knowledge than you, who ascertained the truth about you and said, I'm going to write this out for you. So you take it to somebody that can understand what is written. Now, what you trust is you going by faith that the doctor gave you the truth, now giving you something that's going to handle what's wrong. Now you give it to somebody else, hoping they got the knowledge to translate what was written on the paper. You don't know what they doing back there. They can easily get your stuff mixed up with somebody else's. You ain't got a clue, but you trust in those that got knowledge about the situation, will do the right thing, and they give you the prescription. Now, what's the use of going to the doctor to find out the truth, to get the piece of paper, to take it to the pharmacist, to get the prescription if you're not going to take it? You don't want to do better.
Mighty good.
You go to the doctor said the reason why you having trouble breathing is because you still smoking. What I need you to do is stop smoking. But in the meantime, I'm going to prescribe for you this medication that's going to help you with your situation. But the truth of the matter is, you need to quit smoking. And we can see people every day who do not have the cognitive or psychosis to understand the truth, to exercise the truth. Because you'll see some people sitting on the bus stop with their oxygen tank and a cigarette in their hand. And you driving by like, what in the world? They don't blow the whole block up. Because they don't want to handle the truth of the matter is that the molecular structure of a condom, the molecules of a condom, the holes in a condom is equivalent to a volleyball net if you took golf balls and threw them through the net. In other words, if you set up a volleyball net and took some golf balls and threw them through the net, there is going to be some golf balls that get through the net. Y'all hear me? Now that's the truth. That's the same molecular structure that it is in a condom. That's why some stuff can still get. That's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is the reason why you keep running from house to house and paycheck to paycheck chasing stuff, because you don't want to admit the truth that it ain't everybody else. It may be something wrong with you. Yes, Lord. And because you don't want to wake up and smell the Folgers coffee, the best part of waking up is. And sometimes you need to look in that mirror with your coffee cup in your hand and say, there's some stuff I need to deal with me. And as long as you want to look up and understand the truth, you keep going in relationship after relationship, job after job, church after church. And you think by going to buy a new house or a new car, a new clothes, it's going to soothe the matter. No, baby, that's just a temporary fix. Because you'll find yourself next week spending all your money on your slingbacks and all that stuff. And you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
And we get to church and say, I don't understand.
Want it.
You come to church, watch this. You come to church,
Mighty good.
say you don't understand it, but you come by faith because you feel like the one that's giving it is qualified.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
If there is no acting on what has been prescribed, then there is no faith to be exhibited. If there is no faith being exhibited by the word that was given to you, stop saying faith doesn't work. If you operate on truth and exhibit it, faith works.
That's right.
Some people say God's way don't work. But they ain't taking the pill. You haven't exhibited any faith. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is not a discussion. Faith is an action taken based on the authorization of someone who knows what they're talking about. Why do we do this? So that we can handle all the fiery darts from the evil one. The reason you should crouch behind that shield is because it handles all the darts, the arrows from the enemy. Now the shield is made of wood, but wrapped in leather or some type of animal skin. When they went out to war, they dipped the shield in water because they knew spears were coming at them. Now what the enemy would do, he would take the arrows and dip it in pitch or fire. That's an arrow that's been set on fire. He is saying that the arrows with fire will not be able to get you if you're behind the faith shield. Faith enters into the realm of grace and access God on a whole nother level. 1 John 5:4 says we are overcomers by faith. We overcome joblessness by faith. We overcome lack of finances by faith. We overcome a crazy mind by faith. We overcome emotional pressure by faith. We overcome bad relationships by faith. Sin and